Ronnie J here from internetradiostation.com, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to FTP to your web host. One important skill that you should learn is how to FTP. FTP is basically a protocol or a way to move files from one location to another. For example, moving files from your computer up to your web host account. So in this video, I'll show you how to do that using a tool called FileZilla. FileZilla is free. And the reason why you want to learn how to FTP is because you will need a way to transfer music and other content from your computer up to your stream host account or even to your web host account. So the first thing that you'll want to do is go get FileZilla, because it will be the tool that we'll be using to FTP. Incidentally, FTP stands for File Transfer Protocol. To get FileZilla, let's go to the website, and you can go to FileZilla-project.org, as you see up here in the URL window. And come down, you'll see some quick download links here. You do not want the FileZilla server. You want the FileZilla client. So you click on that, you'll be taken to another window. Then click on this green Download Now button, and FileZilla should automatically start to download to your computer, as I see down here. Once you have FileZilla downloaded to your computer, you can go ahead and install it. I won't go through the installation right now because it's pretty straightforward. It takes you only less than 30 seconds. Just step through the wizard and you will see this. This is FileZilla. The control panel is pretty straightforward and clean. What you see on the left-hand side here are all of the hard drives and directories and files that exist on your local site. Local site simply means your computer. These two windows here are chopped in half. What you have up here are your actual hard drives. And in my case, I have several hard drives installed on my computer. As you can see, there are many of them, even an external one. And down below are all the files that exist within these hard drives. So for example, if I click on my C drive, down here under file name, it shows all the files inside my C drive and also all the directories inside my C drive. On the right hand side where it says remote site, these are all the files that will reside on your web host server. So the idea here is to transfer files from your local site or your computer up to your web host server. So I'm going to demonstrate that, but before I can do that, we'll need to set up FileZilla to connect to your web host. So to do that, you'll have to go to your web hosting account, and I have one with GoDaddy, and this is the GoDaddy website. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my account here and get my FTP username and password. And I'll pull down web hosting here, and I'll find my domain, ripradio.com. There's ripradio. I'll click on launch, and I'll be taken to what's called a cPanel or a control panel. And at the control panel, which is coming up now, I can scroll down just a bit and find FTP users under settings right here. So if I click on that, I have an FTP user created already. If you don't have an FTP user created, you will simply click on the add button, type in a username, and I would recommend all folders, check that. That way you have access to everything on your server. And then create a password, type it in twice. So you want to remember the username and the password that you typed in here, because it's going to be the username and the password that you create here that you're going to enter into FileZilla. Now I've already done that. And of course, once you've done it, click the OK button. Now, once you have gathered your username and password, you can come back to FileZilla, go to File, Site Manager, and create new site. When you create new site, you can give it a name. I'll call this Rip to Radio, or it's RipRad. I know what it is. It's so you can organize all your sites. Then over here, you enter in your host name. The host name is your domain name. So I can type in here, ripradio.com, the protocol, FTP. If you are connecting to a secure server, and if you know that, you pull this down and you'll select SFTP, which is secure FTP. Only your web host can tell you that. Encryption, leave it as it is. Use plain FTP. However, under login type, you want to pull this down and select normal. Then you can type in your username and your password. Then click OK. And that saves your configuration in your site manager. Now, since I already have an account created, I'm going to close this out. And let's assume that I've logged into FileZilla for the first time and I want to connect to my web host account. So I'll go to File, Site Manager, or I could type in information here. I can type in my domain name, my username, and my password. But since I've already saved it in my configuration up here, I'll go File, Site Manager, RIP Radio. See, this is all the information that I've entered in over here. Then click Connect. And over here to the right-hand side, this shows all the files on my web host server for RIP Radio. I can expand this window out and see all the directories inside my web host server. Everything is there. What you see over here is like what you see over here. For example, let me pull this up here. What's up here are all the directories, and what's down here will be all the files inside the directories. So if I click on, say, for example, let me pick any directory here. Here's one, now one-click DVD converter. If I click on that once, I can see all the files or file inside that directory down here. Let's say if I want to transfer a file from my local computer up to this directory. It's very easy to do. You simply navigate to a location where you know the files exist. Let's say if I click on desktop there, I can see all the files that sit on my desktop. And let's say if I wanted to upload this Photoshop file here, I will simply highlight it, then drag it from the left to the right and release my mouse button. And down here, it's going to show that it's being transferred over. Done. And there it is. So that file right here that was on my computer is now over here. So this is a very, very important skill to learn. And let's say if I come up here to the very top, because you'll be doing this in the next video, and you want to create a directory within your web host server. So you will click on the very top folder up there. When you see the slash right there, that means this is your root. That's the very top of your directory structure. And you want to create a directory like you see here. These are the directories under this root. To do that, you would do a right click on the folder and select Create Directory. Then you type in your directory name, and I'll call this one Test Directory. And then click OK. And it says here, directory listing successful. So if I scroll down, everything is in alphabetical order, I should find a directory called Test Directory. And there it is. So in the next video, I'm going to walk you through how to set up the FTP parameter within SAM Broadcaster. And you need to be able to go in here and create a folder. In fact, a folder that you're going to be creating is like what you see right here, SAM folder. And then within this folder, I'm going to have you create another folder called Pictures, like so. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete this directory that I just created called Test Directory. And to do that, you highlight it, right click on it, select Delete, and then yes, it's gone. So let's create, say for example, a folder called SAM folder. So again, I'll right click on the very top directory and select Create Directory. And I'll call this one SAM folder. Then click OK. Over here it says directory listing successful. If I scroll down, I can verify that that SAM folder does indeed exist. And there it is. Now I want to create another folder inside of that SAM folder. In other words, a nested folder or a nested directory. To do that, you highlight the folder, the parent folder, SAM folder, right click on it and say Create Directory, then type in the word Pictures, and then click OK. Now what we have is a directory called SAM folder, and inside of that, a folder called pictures. All right, so this is how you would FTP to your web host account using a free tool called FileZilla. This is Ronnie J. I'll talk to you in the next video.